What do you do when one person's opinion can ruin your whole day? When you feel confident one moment and then someone frowns, ignores you, questions you, and suddenly you're second guessing yourself and everything about you? Why does one comment, one silent response, one hint of disapproval shake you so deeply? Here's the truth most people never admit. If your identity collapses every time someone doesn't approve of you, you don't have identity, you have dependency. And today we're going to break that approval. We're going to rebuild your identity on something unshakable. And you're going to walk away from the trap of needing approval, the approval addiction. But first, let me show you why this goes far deeper than you think. I didn't learn this from a textbook. I learned it from my own collapse. There was a long stretch of my life where my identity was built on the role, the title, the influence, the approval of people I served, and the expectations of others. If people were happy with me, I felt good. If they weren't, I felt like a failure. And when my world shifted, when the job, the title, and the role I thought I'd always have disappeared, I realized something terrifying. I wasn't just lost because I'd lost a job. I was lost because I'd lost the people who told me who I was. My worth was built on what others thought of me, and when their approval was gone, so was my identity. That's when God began to rebuild me, not on applause, but on truth. And I want you to walk away with the same 5 steps that rebuilt me from the inside out. Step 1, identify the lie behind approval addiction. Most people think approval addiction means you're weak. It doesn't. It usually means this. At some point in your life, someone made you feel like you weren't enough, and you learned to earn acceptance, to perform, to impress, to please, to keep the peace. Approval became the currency of your worth. Approval addiction is like sugar. It's a quick high followed by emptiness. And the Bible doesn't soften this either. Proverbs 29:25 says, fearing people is a dangerous trap, but trusting the Lord means safety. Approval is a trap because it places your sense of worth in someone else's hands. And here's the part nobody tells you. The thing you think is insecurity is really misplaced identity. Here's step number 2. Replace opinion-based identity with truth-based identity. If your identity is built on opinions, it will shift every time people shift. Identity must be built on truth. God doesn't build identity on your performance. He builds it on his declaration over you. Ephesians 1:4-5 says, even before he made the world, God loved us and chose us in Christ to be holy and without fault in his eyes. God decided in advance to adopt us into his own family by bringing us to himself through Jesus Christ. This is what he wanted to do, and it gave him great pleasure. Before you could earn a single approval, he already chose you. Identity is like a house. When it's built on sand, it shifts. When it builds on the rock, it builds on truth. But knowing truth isn't enough. Identity only changes when you train your mind. And that takes step 3, build eternal identity muscles, mental strength training. It's just like physical muscles. Identity only grows under resistance, and the resistance is rejection. Every time someone ignores you, criticizes you, doesn't respond, or doesn't applaud your effort, you get the chance to strengthen your identity muscle. This is where you catch the thought, challenge the thought, redirect the thought, and replace the lie with truth. Romans 12:2 says, don't copy the behavior and customs of this world, but let God transform you into a new person by changing the way you think. Transformation requires renewal, not approval. And the moment rejection stops scaring you, your freedom begins. And then step 4, detach your worth from others' responses. People are unpredictable. Their moods change. Their expectations change. Their opinions change. Their reactions. You cannot build on shifting sand. Basing your identity on people is like trying to stand firm during a storm while holding to a tree that's being ripped out of the ground. God didn't call you to be tossed around by the emotions of others. Galatians 1:10 says, obviously, I'm not trying to win the approval of people, but of God. If pleasing people were my goal, I would not be Christ's servant. When you stop reacting to people, you finally start living. And then step 5, anchor your identity in God's approval alone. At the end of the day, identity must be rooted in something eternal, not performance, not applause, not achievement, not image, and not the shifting sand of others' opinions. Isaiah 43:1 says, "But now, O Jacob, listen to the Lord who created you, O Israel, the one who formed you. Do not be afraid, for I have ransomed you. I have called you by name. You are mine." You are His. That is your identity. That is your foundation. People's opinions change, God's declaration does not. Here's the moment most people miss. When you stop needing approval, you don't become arrogant, you become rooted, you become anchored. You become the same person in every room because your identity is no longer up for negotiation. And here's the part nobody expects. When you stop needing approval, you actually gain influence because people respect those who aren't controlled by opinions. So today we expose the lie. We replaced it with truth. We built the mental muscles. We detached the worth from opinions. We anchored identity in God's truth, closing all of the loops in the mind. But if you want to rebuild your identity faster with tools and framework and daily exercise to break approval addiction and anchor your worth in Christ, I put it inside my guided path, and the link is below, mylifepurpose.passion.io. If you want deeper healing, that's where the work continues, daily. Don't let someone's opinion become the ceiling of your potential. You're not created for approval. You're created for identity, for purpose, and significance. Stay anchored, and I'll see you in the next video.